I see a lot of people asking about these crayon molds or these pencil holders. And the pencil holders, they look like, so this is one of another fail. This is a fail because it's not glossy, it's not perfect. It has some issues, got some bubbles, but I did put some copper flakes in here with the pennies, and it would have been a cool little thing. But anyway, these pencil holders, you can get them on Amazon or Temu, whatever floats your fancy. You pour the resin into the mold, and it's upside down like this. So what I did with this one was I put the resin in there, and then I laid the pennies on top to seal them in. And when I got done, I let the resin cure, and then I poured the resin back on top of it to cover those up once those were set in place. So with this mold here, this is one that I see a lot of people that struggle with, or that have a lot of questions. So I'm going to show you how to put crayons in one of these to get a good result. Now I see a lot of people saying, oh, you need to seal your crayons, and you need to do this and you need to do that. I don't seal them. What we're going to do here is I've just got some clear resin that I poured, okay? I'm going to spray just a little bit of alcohol in there. Apologize if I clear my throat. I'm still dealing with the effects of a cold or something. So I've got that alcohol in there, and the alcohol just kind of helps the resin to flow. So what we're going to do here is we're just going to pour a little bit of resin into this mold, and then I'm going to stop. Okay, if you can see, I've got that filled up just about maybe a third of the way. So depends on how you want your crayons. I kind of like the crayons to point down. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my crayons and I'm going to stick them in here one by one. And what I'm doing in the process is I'm filling this, I'm pushing the resin because of physics. We're pushing the resin out, or we're, up, and I'm doing this, and I want the Crayola brand, I want that to show on the outside of the crayons, or on the outside of the pencil holder when it gets done. And this is a great gift for if you have a teacher in your family, or if you have a teacher that you especially like and your child wants to give them a gift, you can make this to give to them. These sell great at craft fairs and things. They buy these quickly. Okay, now as you can see, as I'm going through this process, I'm trying to not get similar colors in the same spot. Some of the wrappings on some of these crayons aren't very good. But as you can tell, as I put these crayons in, the resin is rising to the top, which is going to in turn save me a bunch of resin, for one, and two, it eliminates that possibility for those bubbles. Okay, now you can see bubbles forming. And that's okay, because those bubbles are going to come to the top, and we're going to spray some alcohol on that. Okay. If the sleeve of the crayon is starting to kind of come loose, I just kind of twist it back into place where it is. You could probably hit it with some Mod Podge. Now, if you want to seal the crayons before you put them in there, you're all right to do that. I just don't find it necessary, because I've done several of these and I've never sealed them. So I'll tell you this, and I'll say this, a package of 24 crayons isn't quite enough to fill this. You're going to need 1 or 2 more. So I buy crayons when the school supplies are on sale, and I get them for about 50 cents a box. So I could probably squeeze 2 more crayons in here if I'm careful. And this is quite messy. Make sure you wear your gloves, kids. And I have an exhaust fan on. So, and no, my cough and things is not caused from doing resin without a mask. I'm working in an open garage. I've got my exhaust fan on. And all is good. Now, so as you can see, I've got bubbles that are rising to the top of this. I've also got some pretty heavy overpour on this. So because I put just a little bit too much in there, I'm going to try to control that from running off the edge, because if it runs off the edge, then it just creates a whole big thing. So sometimes what you can do is you can use a spoon. You can use whatever you want. If you've got too much resin in something, just get in there and scoop some out and just put it back into your cup. Okay? So that way it kind of takes some of that resin out of the equation that might be running out of the actual top of the deal. Okay. So we've got that poured, and we're going to just sit here for a little bit, and I'm going to do something else, and I'm going to let those bubbles do their thing. And what I'm going to do in the meantime is I'm going to come across this. I'm going to wipe that edge off because I don't want that to overflow. Hit that with a little more alcohol, and as you can see, when you hit that with alcohol, it pops the bubbles. Now you can go along here and you can kind of bang on this thing a little bit. You don't want to do it hard because you don't want to knock your resin all over the place. But do that, and you'll basically get the bubbles to come up to the top if there are any.